We've already talked about the defense. Now it's time to talk about the midfield, the most important part of the pitch for a team like Barcelona. What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis here and welcome back to another video here on the channel. And yes, indeed, we're gonna be taking a look at the midfield for today's video. And what we're gonna be doing is that we're gonna be splitting it potentially in, I'm not gonna say two parts, but keep in mind that I want to talk about two midfields. First of all, a midfield where we play in a 4-3-3, and second of all, a midfield that potentially could change if we were to play with two interiors, and that means that Koeman will be trying his 4-2-3-1. Before starting off, guys, I want to let you know that there's a new episode of the Engine Room podcast right now live. So if you haven't checked it out already, go there in the description down below and take a look at it. It's more content from me in a podcast format. So yeah, you're going to enjoy that. It's with my friend Pablo. So pretty nice laughs. If Barcelona were to play the 4-3-3, they still need this deep line playmaker, distributor, and metronome in the midfield, and Busquets is certainly going to be that. Busquets was instrumental to Spain's, I'll say, just a very good campaign in the Euros, and hopefully he can replicate that form after a good break and bring it to Barcelona. I believe that Sergio Busquets still with very good additions next to him in potentially a new rejuvenated midfield that we're going to be talking later on with better players like Nico Gonzalez, like Gavi, Frankie de Jong, Pedri, Ricky Puig, all of these youngsters. He'll be able to find himself as the veteran, as the leader in it, and that will potentially help not only aid the progression of these youngsters, but also aid the, I'll say, the decrease in quality of Sergio Busquets, because he will be able to focus on just some few things, and that's the good things that he's at. The passing, the long balls, the vision, all of that are required for Sergio Busquets to be impeccable. And if we are able to limit the defensive capabilities, the defensive efforts that he needs to commit, he will be giving almost 100% to just the positives of his play. And I think that's just a perfect formula to try and get the best out of Sergio Busquets. Another player that could potentially slot in here in this defensive midfielder position would be Frankie de Jong. Not only for the games in La Copa del Rey where we need to rest Sergio Busquets, but most importantly, if he tries his 3-4-3 like we saw last season, or his 4-2-3-1 that I think will be sort of making a comeback this year, well, I think Frankie de Jong's mobility, Frankie de Jong's versatility, all of that will be something that he will try to exploit for that midfield. De Jong could play easily between that double pivot as a left one, how he played at Ajax under Erik ten Hag, and seeing how Alfred Schauder was brought here for a reason, I still think that there is something to come out of it. And I feel that that incorporation of De Jong playing in that midfield will certainly see some sort of reinvention for at least this season in some games or so. So do not count out that Koeman could potentially play with that double pivot, and De Jong being part of one of those. Frankie de Jong has evolved a lot last season, and for me so far his best season out of the two at Barcelona. He has found a new scoring, let's say, an asset to his team, an asset to his quality, an arsenal perhaps that he didn't have before, and I think his interpretations and runs into the box is something that has really aided Barcelona a lot. We saw his goals in La Copa del Rey against Rayo Vallecano, for instance, or in the final against Atletico Bilbao. I remember against Leganés, for instance, in the Liga as well. He was always present and always trying to make those cutting runs, and actually the team was able to find the best of the young out there. Be it Griezmann, be it someone like Lionel Messi, the wingers are going to be stretching out wide and letting Frankie de Jong come in through the middle, and I think that is something that we are not going to be missing this season, because de Jong shall 100% be getting better. And just as I mentioned him, let's take a look at that left-hand side midfield position, where I think that also Pedri will be making a return. If you tell any Barcelona fan or even any football fan out there, no one was going to believe the uprise of Pedri this season. I think that Pedri has just become an incredible player all around, and certainly garnishing a position as a starting player for Barcelona and one for Spain as well. I think that if Pedri is to continue at this rate, he's going to be becoming a world-class beater in no time, really. And even though he's been playing that many games, I feel that he has the stamina to continue. I think he has the stamina to at least become a starter for this season, following what would be a probably short rest after the Olympics. In that case, whether he's going to be rested, I think that Ricky Puig could be coming in to just exercise a very similar role as Pedri. I think that Ricky Puig so far right now, out of all our midfielders, so I'm including here Pedri, De Jong, Busquets, Nico Gonzalez, Gavi, I think Ricky Puig is more adept when it comes to actually linking up the play with the forward line. His passes are just very intricate, and he's being able to do in terms of talent things that perhaps only Messi is doing so far for this team. His vision of the game is incredible, and he's always ticking, he's always moving and constantly shifting positions, and that is something very hard for the opponent to track. And that is why I feel Riqui Puig should, and hopefully Koeman actually gives him a little bit more protagonism for this season. I still feel that he's going to be one step behind what is Pedri, but when it comes to the overall season, which is very, very long, hopefully Riqui Puig can make an appearances just in case over the Spaniard. And please do not give me that shit that is either Pedri or Riqui Puig. Both of them are incredible players, but the thing is that they both play in a very similar position, so it's either one or the other. And right now, we take a look at what each of them have done in their careers, and Pedri, even though he's younger, he's been doing more. So he still does deserve the starting spot over Riqui Puig, in my opinion. And just before finalizing this video, I know that a lot of you are going to be hyped for Nico Gonzalez, and well, of course, as well, Gavi is so good. Gavi is so freaking good. And if that were to be the case, I think that Nico Gonzalez should be certainly getting more minutes in this season. I think that he's ready for the first team, of course. At 19 years of age, he's more than ready for it. And playing as a replacement for Busquets, potentially as a substitute, would be the ideal thing. And Gavi, as I said, will be substitute for Frankie de Jong, but reports are saying he could be a substitute to Pedri as well. So I guess that you can just interchange. Then Riqui Puig can be the substitute for Frankie de Jong, and you just have a perfect balanced squad. And that's not even counting Moriba, who certainly, if he gets a new contract renewal, I see that could also add a lot to that midfield. Moriba could be a replacement as well for Frankie de Jong, just can be then that X factor that we were talking about. There's so many players now that Barcelona has in that midfield, and honestly, we are oozing with talent, so it's a very good time to be a culé if you aren't one. So my final verdict, guys, is that if we're going to be playing with a 4-3-3, then Busquets, Pedri, and Frankie de Jong is certainly going to be the midfield to go. But if we play with a 4-2-3-1, we could be seeing the very same names and Pedri play as a number 10. But if that were to be the case as well, I do believe that potentially Koeman will be slotting Messi as a number 10, or maybe even giving Coutinho the much needed, I'll say, chance again to prove himself in that position. Let's remember that when Koeman started playing the 4-2-3-1, Coutinho was the number 10. Coutinho was there being just a very instrumental piece to what Koeman did for the very first 3 matches. And I feel that there is a slight chance we can see that again. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I feel we might see it. Maybe Coutinho as a number 10, Messi, Griezmann, Depay. We have so many number 10s that making a room for an extra player and actually giving a number 10 a potentially opportunity to play more, having 4 attackers instead of just 3, is something that Koeman is very much thinking about. So I just wanted to let you know that that could be the case. Like, we could see Coutinho, we could see Messi, we could see somebody else making part of the midfield, which would be very, very interesting, but also very risky. That's going to be everything for right now, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Be sure to let me know in the comments down below what would your Barcelona midfield be for next season. And yes, indeed, let's see you Friday for the forward line, which is going to be potentially the most interesting video yet. See you in the next one. Take care. Ciao, ciao.